Hey guys, I forgot to plug my microphone in. How is everybody doing today? So let's see if that microphone works. That I plugged it in a moment. Hopefully that works. I am here. Today is November 20th, Wednesday, 2024. We're so close to Thanksgiving. I can't believe it. And this is my live coaching. My name is Kim Ann Curtin. We have a collection of regulars that come into this each week. And this is really my way of giving back to the community. Of course, I work with personal one-on-one clients, but I like doing these because it gives those who perhaps wouldn't be in a position to invest in coaching the opportunity to have coaching. And what is this, who is this for? It's really for the traders and trading and investing community. I mean, look, anybody wants to come in for live coaching, I'm not going to not let you in. I'm going to make sure if you want coaching, you can get it. But I do hope that you will see this as an opportunity to raise your hand and come in to get some speed coaching. This, I always come with a topic to talk about, but I find these are much more exciting for everybody if we do live coaching one-on-one. So Tina, it's good to have you here. I'm so glad you're here. And heads up, everybody, Tina is, if it's okay to say this, Tina, an ambassador for my Discord room. So we've kind of revamped the Discord room. We used to have a membership. I've removed that. I don't know if it's fully ready to share yet, but I got Tina in there, lucky me, because Tina is here almost every episode, every live episode. Now, also, I have been doing these Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today's Wednesday, as you all know, and I am possibly going to move it to Wednesdays instead of Tuesday or Thursday due to clients and their availability and schedule. So I have, myself booked up on those other days. So I think what I'm going to do is keep Wednesdays for my podcast and for these live coaching instead of twice a week, which is what I've been doing. It's probably going to go to once a week, but hopefully that'll work for everybody. And you can always watch this recording. It does go out on my YouTube channel. So you can always catch past episodes and watch anything that you potentially missed. What else do I want to say? I also want to thank my new sponsor, Opal Securities. I'm so excited and honored to have them sponsoring my podcast and this. And you've been peeking at the material in there. Good, Tina, in the Discord room. That's awesome. There's a lot of material in there. Of course, now we have the rooms, the threads that were membership only, open for everybody to see. So there's a lot of content there. So, take your time. There's a lot to digest, and I'm glad you're looking in there. But I just want to go back to Opal Securities and just give them a really, big shout out. They really are the best in class fee structure, located inventory. They have a very bespoke nature. And if you'd like to minimize your costs as traders, that's very important, and maximize your trading business, please reach out to me direct and I will put you in touch with my person there. But they're just incredible. And I'm very excited and honored to be affiliated with them now. So thank you, Opal, for sponsoring today's live. And look, we have a handful of people here in the room. I'm going to go and look on X as well. Please, if you'd like to do some speed coaching, live coaching, please raise your hand and let me know. And then, of course, actually what I'll do right now, the format is a little different. Oh, God, I hope I didn't just ruin it. Shoot. No, hopefully I didn't. It's just the format today in Restream, which is the platform this airs through, is different. So I'm a little bit confused because invite guests. Okay, there it is. I'm looking for the link. So guys, I'm going to put this link right now in this restream. And for those who are watching this on X, I'm going to put that right underneath this live link. So let me put that there. So if you want to come in for live coaching, you guys just have to have a camera on. That's my request. A lot of our visitors are coming in with a camera, so it just seems fair to keep that moving forward. But you don't have to ask. You just click the link. I'll see that you've come into the room, and then I'll open it up for you to ask your you present your trading challenge. Look, it's live, so obviously it'll be out there in front of other people. But I just want to say, like, this is a pretty special opportunity. Not inexpensive, guys. So for you to get some tangible clarity for yourself in this, weekly, if not more often, experience is kind of like a no-brainer. If you feel stuck, if you struggle with FOMO, if you have a tendency to overtrade, if you come from a place of scarcity, if you don't have enough courage in your trading to up-level yourself when it's time to do that, this is what is a part of a trader's journey. Like, I don't want you to feel bad about it, but I want you to realize that this is part of the experience of being a trader. And I think the key here is for you guys to really get that these walls, these kind of ceilings you bump into is part of the journey, is part of what up levels you. So, it's hard to get into this mindset of being grateful for the challenges, but I hope you can kind of see it that way. See it as, wow, this is my new challenge. Just like when you work out in the gym, just like when you work out with weights, right? You start with the pounds that you can deal with, and it's so hard in the beginning. But if you keep doing it week after week, you have to increase the weight. You have to increase the workout because you have adjusted to it, you have adapted to it. And so I want you guys to see, as traders, there is no perfect, but you can, every time you face something about yourself that perhaps is a hard truth, you have an opportunity to transcend it if you're willing to look that dragon in the eye. And that's really what this is about. And that was going to be my topic today, actually. But I tried to, right from the get-go, see if I can't enroll somebody in coming into this room right out of the gate. Thanks, Howard. Glad that you're enjoying it. So I guess today what I wanted to talk about, it just because it keeps showing up in a few of my DMs with regards to, so as I've talked about, I have something called the 5 Practices to Become a Better Trader. That ebook is about to launch. That construct of like what those 5 practices are, they are talked about in my book, Transforming Wall Street, but we kind of jiggered this ebook to be very specific to traders. I'm very fortunate to have Jack Kellogg featured in the book, Jason Shapiro, Kyle Williams, Brian Lee, Mari, Jeremy Aguirre. Like, I have some incredible traders who talk about these 5 practices and the impact that it has on them. So that should be, that'll be announced in Curtain Call, which is my weekly email, which if you are not on, please do sign up. Let me give you the link right now for you guys to do that. I'm going to put that in the comments part here on Restream. And then I'm going to actually put this here in the live. So let me just, for some reason, X doesn't let me, when I post in Restream, it doesn't show up on X. So I just have to manually enter stuff. So please bear with me here. All right, let's see. Okay, so what ultimately I wanted to speak to today, just because it keeps showing up for a few traders that I've been talking to, is that for the most part, if you have listened to anything I have to say, will repeatedly hear me emphasizing that you need to practice more self-compassion, right? That you need to find a way to not be so hard on yourself. Here's what I want to say about that. That doesn't mean I am suggesting you are soft with yourself. There is difference between being self-abusive and being a person who challenges themselves. So here's what I want to get into. One of the 5 practices that is a life changer, never mind a trading changer, is the first practice I speak to, called self-responsibility. Here's what self-responsibility is. It is not self-flagellation. It is not self-blame. It is not inner criticism. It is a willingness to take 100% responsibility for what you are navigating in your trading and your life. Here's the hard truth, guys. There are a lot of traders who see themselves as a victim of the markets, a victim of their life, a victim of circumstance, a victim of, an inappropriate experience in their life, right? Inappropriate is what I would say at a minimum that people have gone through. But this concept of taking 100% responsibility will absolutely change your trading and your personal life. That first practice is the practice that I learned when I did my Landmark Forum, Landmark Education. Hi, Fabian. Long time no see. I'm so glad you're here. I'm actually going to grab my book off the shelf because I want to read something from it. And this is from Transforming Wall Street. I think I have it in a trader's, the new book, The 5 Practices to Become a Better Trader. But here's what I want to say. And again, Fabian, Tina, anybody who's come in here that wants live coaching, take that link. There's a link there. I mean, I can share it again if you want me to. But please, look, all of this chit chat that I'm giving you guys is me kind of just, trying to give value to you until I get somebody who volunteers for coaching. So if you want live coaching at any point, please just click that link. I'm going to see that you've come into the room, and then we'll get to it. And if you don't know, if you look back on some of the other lives, guys, there have been some really big breakthroughs that happened for the traders who have come into these conversations. They are not kidding around. And the traders that have come into these lives have been full throttle, taking really big shit on. So I just hope that you will consider it, because it kind of seems crazy that I don't have 102 people. Hi, Christina. Okay, good. Come on in, Christina. I'm so excited to see you. All right, so self-responsibility until Tina gets herself into the room. I just want to read this one quote about self-responsibility that changed my life. It began my journey as a coach. I became a coach because of this step, this practice, and this concept of self-responsibility. The first really clarity I got was my friend Todd. We were, just getting to know each other. And I was over at his house. This was when I was in Manhattan. He had this one of the coolest apartments in Westfield you'd ever seen. He had a backyard. Who the hell has a backyard in New York City? Wherever you are, Todd, we should catch up. It's been a while. We texted. Did we text recently? I don't know. We touched base about something recently. Anyway, it's all thanks to Todd. So I was at Todd's house. I was probably checking him out. Maybe he was checking me out. We were meant to be friends, not boyfriend and girlfriend. But I was sitting in his living room. I'll never forget it, guys. And I was telling him my story because I got a story. And I was telling him my story, and he looked at me, and without judgment, like, this wouldn't have worked. I don't recommend it. I don't know why it worked that day, but I think it really did, because he didn't have judgment. He wasn't judging me. And I think I could feel that. Christina, if you have any difficulty with the link, just let me know. So just tell me if you don't see it. It's in the overlay. You're on YouTube, so it should work. But you do have to click that button, and please have your camera on. But so anyway, he said to me, Todd, never forget it. He said, "Wow, Kim, you really see yourself as a victim." And I was like, "Excuse me? What did you just say?" But he said it in such a neutral way. But he was right, guys. He was dead on. And ultimately, he shared his story. He shared what his journey had been, how he himself had seen himself as a victim. So just ask yourselves this question. Is there a place right now in your trading, in your life, where you are not taking 100% responsibility? Are you kidding yourself? Are you lying to yourself? Are you rationalizing? Are you looking external to yourself and putting the blame at the feet of entities that are not yourself? Now, we're not talking blame. And this is why I think people get very triggered when I bring this up, because I can tell you this week, I had a couple of people get triggered at this concept because I heard the victim mentality in them, and I called it out, and I think I pissed them off because it can feel like you're blaming me for these horrible things that have unfolded for me. No, I'm not blaming you, but I'm telling you, you are not going to be able to change anything in your life until you take ownership. It's a grace you give yourselves, guys, when you take 100% responsibility. And that is when all your power comes back. It's like a vacuum. As soon as you take ownership, as soon as you take responsibility, you become empowered. So here's that quote. Christina, I still don't see you. So if you change your mind, just let me know. Okay, here's the quote from Werner Erhard. He is the original creator of Landmark Forum. It was called EST back in the 70s. Responsibility, you are? Okay, shoot. I'm glad you told me, because for some reason I am not seeing you, girl. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Oh, there you are. Okay, I don't know. Something is off with my camera here. Hi, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. All right, so I'm trying to make you a little bigger, but yes, I don't know if Restream did kind of a change with their format. There we go. How are you, Christina?
I'm good, Kim. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Just if you could just talk a little louder, could be my end, but just I don't know. Do you have a mic? Just talk loud.
No,
Sorry.
I have. Let me undo the Bluetooth. Maybe
Okay.
that'll help.
It's a little better now. It's a little better. Could have been.
Yeah, maybe it's just the microphone or something. Okay.
No, it could be mine. Could be my speakers. So, how are you? It's been a while. Give me what you'd love to address today. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I was thinking last week like when you weren't around. I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump in next time she has her live coaching.
I
And
got
so,
so sick, Christina. I got a
oh,
stomach flu and it
oh,
kicked my ass. I was so sick. I couldn't believe it. I don't know. I thought I
oh.
had food poisoning, but then I was like, day 2, day 3. I don't think this is food poisoning.
No, I'm glad you're better. That is, yeah, not
Thank you.
fun.
I couldn't even go on social to tell y'all that I couldn't come. Like, I couldn't do anything. I was flat on my
Wow.
back. So, yes,
Wow.
I felt bad. I was like, oh God, nobody even knows I'm not coming this week. So, of all the weeks you're going to come, it was last
No,
week.
no, it's completely fine because,
Okay.
like, there's plenty of opportunities to talk about things, when you trade 4 days a week. So I think I was just giving some thought to like some of my recurring themes
Yeah.
and what's going on, and I'll paint a scenario for you of what happened today and yesterday. So yesterday I have this I'm pretty exacting when I go through my analysis of my trades day in and day out, and
Yep.
I journal. I write down like what am I feeling at the time I take a trade, how it feels afterward. So I have this knowledge that my first 2 trades, win or lose, doesn't matter. I follow my process, everything's fine. Third trade, wheels start to come off.
Mm.
And God forbid if I go fourth trade or whatever. And this is just in a session. So usually I trade like the New York Open, up until like 11 a.m. or something. Um, and so I've instituted, rules and probably maybe too many rules, but anyway, I've instituted rules to basically say, you know what, take a breather. I mean, I know what I'm looking for. I know my time element involved. So I'm going to just sit on my hands. And then I kind of feel like I just fall prey to what's happening on the charts in front of me. Like, oh, wait a minute, is this going to be my setup? Like, so I start to lose that objectivity
Yep.
going into that after those first couple of trades. Now, it doesn't happen like this all the time.
So,
So I'm
Christina,
like,
can I
yeah.
pause you there just for
Mhm.
one moment? I feel that perhaps that objectivity is already compromised, possibly at the start of the trading day.
Hmm.
Possibly because what I'm hearing is that maybe you're coming into the day with an agenda. If the wheels start to fall off the bus in the third trade, that means you have an agenda by the third trade. You're supposed to blank, blank, and blank.
I think that could definitely be correct. I was noticing some things the other day, and I traded on the Veterans Day holiday.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm not expecting much today. It's the holiday, the market's quiet, but a lot of times there's a nice clean setup for me. And, so I was really chill, no expectations. And what happened? It worked out great. And
So,
then other days, it's kind of like that reverse, kind of like, I think myself, and I'm sure a lot of others out there, they're like, oh, if there's news information or economic drivers, people expect that injection of volatility and volume. And so you want to trade off of that, right? To try to catch some of those larger moves. And so I think that's kind of where these subconscious more than anything, I can think about it now, but when I'm going into my trading day, I'm certainly not sitting there thinking that I have this expectation, but I think you're onto something.
it makes sense. And this is that delicate balance of we don't want to even make our expectations wrong, because if we do, we will have a tendency to hide the truth from ourselves, right? We won't want to be with the truth of the fact that we have these expectations, so we will rationalize and lie to ourselves if we make them wrong. Because what happened, we feel ashamed for doing something we know we shouldn't. So the key is to say, oh, look, I have all these expectations. Now, maybe you weren't present to it until that third trade, but at that moment you go, oh, how fascinating. I clearly have expectations right now. That probably is influencing my patience, my willingness to take time away from my desk. I clearly have an agenda. Isn't that fascinating? How do I get myself back to neutral?
Yes, so that is the $64,000 question.
Well, here's the answer. By simply noticing that you're not. As soon as you notice you're unconscious, as soon as you notice you have an agenda, you've just unhooked yourself from it.
Yeah, I was reading Taming Your Gremlin, Inner Gremlin or whatever. Yes, right? So that concept of just continuing to notice. And I think I get impatient when I notice day in and day out and day in and day out, still repeat, still not like making some of the progress I want to make. So then I get frustrated.
Sure, absolutely. Especially when you're somebody who is as smart as you are, right? You're being a smart woman means you've been able to kind of work things into your solution. And it's probably worked most of your life. But when you come into trading, those things that always worked in other venues don't work so much here. So it's kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah, it is kind of like, what the hell? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Ay, ay, ay.
That's why I call this the ultimate school of enlightenment, because it's going to force every trader to be with, where are they impatient with themselves? Where do they have expectations? Where do they have shadows that they have yet to look at within themselves? Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's a lot of inner work going on right now to uncover, discover, get curious. And I think it's just one of those things where it's like, it's definitely a 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Yeah. And then when it's 2 steps back, I just get pissed off.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, what the hell?
Understandable. And I really would recommend you bring that empathy and compassion, because that anger and frustration is valid. You have a right to that. You have a right to expect your hard work to already be paying off. You have a right to have those feelings. And if you hold on to that, you will keep yourself from up leveling. So it's not about, there's nothing wrong with being frustrated. There's nothing wrong with being impatient. It's just that those are the price of entry, our attachment to those things to go through the gate of becoming what you want to become, a successful trader.
So just keep noticing,
Here's the thing. If you want to go a little deeper, go to the root, right? If we have dandelions on our front lawn, we can go pull them all out of the ground. Or we could say, wait a minute, what's causing them to grow in the first place? So if there was a place I would point you to do some deeper work, it would be over what perhaps your expectations are in general. Are they within this galaxy?
Or of course they are. They're within my galaxy.
Is your galaxy the same galaxy I'm living in, or is that a different galaxy?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
bodacious goals are one thing.
Yeah.
Other galaxies are usually going to be such a high bar of entry that we find ourselves doing what? Constantly being disappointed in ourselves.
There's I'll just say this one last thing. There's like one thing that has really caught my attention because I have a process, I have my rules, I follow it. I've gotten better at following it. And these last couple of days, I just, for whatever reason, I have other ideas. But I think you're absolutely spot on in terms of just going into my trading with certain expectations. And I was looking at some of the stuff on X the other day, and Pax Trader.
Mhm.
I think he retweeted something like um, two things. One that are just really helping me right now is one is give the market your time, not your money, and two, um, I don't know exactly how it went, but it's something like be process oriented, not outcome oriented. The outcome oriented people don't survive, or like
Yeah.
ironically enough, right? Of course, I know that, but
Mhm.
but like that reminder even to just be more process oriented, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I
but
that really helps.
but remember that being somebody who can be process orientated instead of outcome orientated can be a major paradigm shift if you are coming from a world, corporate world or academic world, where we were consistently judged by outcome, right? We don't come up with this shit ourselves. We've been indoctrinated, brainwashed to be outcome orientated. The whole freaking world is setting us up to earn, if you will, right? And so then you come into trading and the rules are completely different. What
Mhm.
everything had been shoved down your throat for so many years in a factory kind of mindset is not going to work here. Certain parts of it work, but not all of it.
Once again, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, yeah. At first, I left the corporate world a long time ago, but I think that's just kind of the theme that runs through me and everything else I've done since then. So
And you are
yeah,
so not
it's a good
alone.
observation.
So not alone. What's that saying? Like, you can take the girl out of the corporate world, but you can't take the corporate world out of the girl.
Please take it out of me, please.
You're taking it out of you. The
Yeah.
market is helping you take it out of you because the market is not rewarding that.
Mm.
And so that leaves you and millions of other traders with a quandary because they're like, wait a minute, this has always worked before. What the
Yeah.
hell is going on?
Yeah.
But here's
Yeah.
the other thing, there was a catchphrase in there someplace where you said about oh gosh, let me see if I can remember it, about the market. You said that you were frustrated with the market, or expecting, and I would say on occasion replace the word market with yourself. So
Mm.
you're expecting from you
Mhm.
some things. And that's the deeper place. The deeper place is, oh, can we be with our fallibility? Can we be with our humanity? Can we be with our fucked upness? Because we all are. As long as we're human, we're going to be fucked up a little bit. So, can we meet that and embrace it and not make it wrong? Because if we can, that puts us in a much quicker position to transcend it. It's our resistance to our humanity that costs us. We think it's our humanity that costs us. It's not. It's our resistance to our humanity that costs us. So it's like, oh, you're getting impatient. Don't get mad about that. Just be like, well, of course. I come from a corporate world. I have expectations for myself that are very high. So it's an easy place to slip into.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm building a new track, a new set of, brain neurons to not go the place I've always gone and to start new ideas about how I observe myself. There's a quote I'm looking for that I want to read to you. So just give me a minute here. Let's see if I could. It's a little dramatic for today's conversation, but I like it so much and I think it's still valuable. All right. It's from Arthur Miller and it's from one of his plays called After the Fall. I dreamed I had a child, but even in the dream, I saw it was my life, and it was an idiot, and I ran away. But it always crept onto my lap again, clutched at my clothes, until I thought if I could kiss it, whatever in it was my own, perhaps I could sleep. And I bent to its broken face, and it was horrible, but I kissed it. I think one must finally take one's life in one's arms.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that.
Right. So all of us, I think, are on the journey, whether you're trading or investing, living, with being willing to be with that which is, fallible in ourselves. And that is not our biggest issue. It's our judgment about being fallible, our judgment that we have to look at our imperfections every day. But if we can learn how to love ourselves, even in the midst, accept ourselves, befriend ourselves with all our peccadillos, then it's like swimming downstream instead of upstream.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Christina, for coming in here today.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, stay in touch. Let me know how that unfolds, okay?
I will.
Okay, good. Awesome. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, Fabian, what did you say here? Let's see. So Fabian says, I had to fix several things before fixing my emotions in trading. I basically eliminated FOMO, but it took a year and a half of hard work. Fabian, that is phenomenal. I'm so impressed that you pulled it off in a year and a half, dude. That's like nothing. That's like a blink of an eye. So good job, you. All right, getting to the root, Fabian says it takes time, it takes courage. No root, no consistency. I'm 100% with you. Look, the root is the place we all need to look, but that we have to gird our loins to get in there. Like, I said, I think I either piss somebody off this week, or worse, they feel hurt by what I said. It's possible because I called out the victimhood. Now, I can remember when I was called out on my stance of being a victim, I was pissed, right? I don't know if I was hurt as much as I was angry, but when Todd said that to me that day, I was like horrified. And then I started to have shame, right? Because nobody wants to see themselves as a victim. I mean, we intuitively know that is not a healthy place to be. So when somebody says that to us, calls that shit out, you're going to be triggering somebody badly. Now, I'm not advising any of you do this. Like, I am very careful when to call that spade a spade, because ultimately I want people to be built up, right? But there is like coaching, guys. I guess I want to say this, as a lot of you have witnessed because you've been in this room often. Coaching is hard fucking work. Like, for you, not for me, for you, the client, because I mean, look, I've been doing so much work on myself for, I don't know, since I'm 10 years old, that I can spot the rationalization, the kidding oneself, the victim mentality pretty quickly. And I am here to call that shit out. I'm not here to just make you feel good about yourself. Like, there are people who think, oh, coaching can just, makes people feel good and pats them on the back. Like, this is me telling you, you can talk to some of my clients. I don't make a lot of people happy all the time because I will call them on their bullshit, not from a place of judgment, not from a place of trying to be hurtful, but because tough love is sometimes the love we actually do need. My good friend Todd, he put tough love down that day by saying, Kim, you are seeing yourself as a victim of this story. And that was hard to hear, but it was necessary for my growth. And he didn't have an ulterior motive. His ego wasn't involved. There are people who might ever say that to you, and their ego could be involved, and it may not be even the truth. But, I'm not saying I don't have an ego, because I am a human being. Of course I do, but I've done a lot of work to make sure that ego doesn't get in the way, at least if I am stepping into a coaching experience with somebody. I do my best before any time I coach anybody. In fact, on this, I'm going to share with you, there is a Native American tradition where shamans, and I've done shamanistic training, where you are taught to specifically become the hollow reed. That is the prayer. The prayer as you step into what is a facilitation of healing, of coaching, of holding space for somebody. You are taught, especially in shamanic tradition, to become the hollow reed. That means you are not bringing your own biases to the equation. You are not bringing your own opinions or beliefs to the coaching experience, so to speak. You ask Source to speak through you so that your ego is out of the way. And so with this particular trader, before I even gave this advice, I try consciously, unconsciously to step into that energy of being a hollow reed. I'm not saying I am perfect at it, but I could hear in the identification of his story how he saw himself as a victim. And I had to call it out, because when we see ourselves as a victim, we can stay in a downward spiral for a very long time. There is plenty the ego will find that validates your victimhood. Unfortunately, a lot of our culture is set up to reward victims. There is a whole victim mentality, even in Western medicine, and how it addresses and deals with any kind of illness. So we have to really take a hard look. And ultimately, nobody can do this for ourselves better than we can. Ask yourself, is there a place in your life? Are there areas in your life, in your trading, where you are not taking ownership? You are outsourcing. Well, this is because I don't have that much money, or this is happening because the market is this kind of a market, or this is happening because of what happened to me in my childhood. That could be true, but what are you going to do about it? What is the action step you're going to take? There are behaviors that all of us come with from our childhood that are limiting us. And I'm not saying you can wave a magic wand and have them be gone in a second. You can't. But are you going to take ownership for them? If you sit in a place blaming whatever you have by way of your scapegoat that day, you are going to find yourself disempowered, and you can't create change for yourself in that place. I think a lot of things, Eric, can validate victimhood because we are going to see how Buddha said this. We will become what we consistently think. We will see what we consistently repeat to ourselves. So the key is to just notice, where are you repeatedly letting yourself off the hook? Again, not about blame, but where are you not taking ownership? That is the question I would recommend to everybody, including myself. Like, guys, I am striving every day to practice what I preach. Some days are better than others. Some days are hard as hell. But the practice is a practice. It's called that for a reason. You don't ever do one and done. You will be forever. Oh, here is a bigger challenge. Here is a up leveling. Here is something that maybe I never dealt with before. That is what can happen. So, all right. I think that might be it. Technically, I got about 10 minutes left. Is there anybody else who wants live coaching, as long as it can be speedy quick, and you're okay with that? I got, 10 minutes. So if you want to come in, please do. Quickly. All right, let me get the little invite. Yeah, Restream is definitely a little different today. So maybe they did an update that I missed last week. I don't know. All right. That's the link. If you do want to come in for live coaching, I'm going to go to X and I'm going to put the link. Oh, it's there. So if you guys are listening to me on X, you'll see right in that thread a place where it says join the Restream. All you have to do is click that, and then do tell me when you're in the room, because I don't think it's alerting me to that fact. So anyway, it's okay. All right. So again, shout out to Opal Securities. Thank you for sponsoring my live coaching and for sponsoring my podcast as well as my newsletter. If you haven't signed up for Curtain Call, please do. That is where we're going to announce the ebook for the 5 practices to become a better trader. So I'm excited to share that with you. It's really good. Yeah. I'm excited. All right. What else did I want to speak to? So yeah, that is my homework to all of you. And I know I was going to read that quote, but I think we had Christina come into the room, so I didn't get to. So that's how I'll close it. If I don't have anybody else, we have 180 people here in the stream. I don't know if that shows up on YouTube or not, but out of 180, there's got to be somebody else who wants some live coaching. Kind of crazy, if not. All right, here is the quote. This is Werner Erhard. Started to read it earlier, but we had to coach somebody. All right, here we go. Responsibility. This is in my book, Transforming Wall Street, and it's going to be in the new ebook specifically for traders. Responsibility begins with the willingness to take the stand that one is the cause in the matter of one's life. It's a declaration, not an assertion. It is a context from which one chooses to live. Responsibility, listen to this line, guys. Responsibility is not burden, fault, praise, blame, credit, shame, or guilt. In responsibility, there is no evaluation of good or bad, right or wrong. There is simply what's so, and the stand you choose to take on what's so. Being responsible starts with the willingness to deal with the situation from the view of life that you are the generator of what you do, what you have, and what you are. That is not the truth. It is a place to stand. No one can make you responsible, nor can you impose responsibility on another. It is a grace you give yourself, an empowering context that leaves you with a say in the matter of life. So, that quote, when it landed for me, my entire life went whoop, back on track. I don't know what would have become of me if I didn't have that truth bomb land. Thank you, Werner Erhard, wherever you are. When Todd said that to me, and then subsequently enrolled me to do that Landmark Forum, it was a 3.5-day course. And if you guys haven't done it for yourselves, can I strongly recommend you do it. If you struggle with feeling like a victim, and there's a part of you that knows you got to let that go, but you can't go to a Landmark Forum, that course was absolutely the hardest thing I ever did and the easiest thing I ever did simultaneously. But the first 48 hours or 72, I was a not happy camper. My friends, Todd and Elizabeth, came to meet me on Sunday night, which is the night the person who suggests you do it visits you. And I was pissed. He had made me promise that I would stay on the ride till the end. That was the only reason I was there. I wanted to walk about 5 times. I was so mad. I was so mad at Roger Smith, my forum leader. I hated that man for 3 days until I realized he had just brought me to the promised land. But they took one look at my face on Sunday night when they walked in. My girlfriend Elizabeth had a rose for me. She had the rose behind her back, and then she saw she had the rose in her hand, and then she saw my face, and she put the rose behind her back because she was like, "Oh shit, Kim is pissed at both of us." I was so mad at both of them. I was like, "I hate this. I don't like it. This thing is bullshit. I don't like my forum leader. Roger Smith is a egotistical jerk." I was so triggered, guys. And they say in Landmark there are early poppers like popcorn and a microwave and late poppers. I was a late popper, folks. I was holding on to my victimhood and my stories like they were my life preserver, but they actually were what were dragging me down to the bottom of the ocean. And when that quote that I just read to you landed for me, when I got it, which was about 1:00 in the morning on Sunday night, like half a day before it ended, I can't even tell you what that was like. My entire philosophy, approach, outlook, energy levels, relationships, all shifted for the better. It was truly like getting struck by lightning, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. So there's my 10-minute advertisement for Landmark Forum. Do it, guys, because if you want to succeed as a trader, I can promise you are limiting your success if you have yet to transcend a lot of stories about your life and about your trading. If you want to have no drag, like the swimmers that shave before a meet, you got to shave off the stories you're telling yourself about yourself, the stories you're telling yourself about your trading. Those stories are keeping you stuck 100%. 100%. Not about blame, right? Remember that quote. It's a grace you give yourself when you start to take 100% responsibility. And I want you guys to have that grace because you have signed up for the hardest job in the world with the most smartest competitors you could ever experience. So you want to be an Olympian? You want to trade in the landscape of traders who are Olympians? You got to get rid of whatever is potentially limiting you because there's enough you got to overcome as a regular trader. Never mind to bring in a bunch of 5-pound weights attached to your knees, attached to your ankles, attached to your wrists, attached to your brain, attached to your soul. All of that shit, guys, slows you down, hinders you, holds you back. And you know how much Landmark is? I don't know what the current price is, but I'll tell you this, it's under $1,000. I did it. It was like $650 for 3.5 days. Like, are you kidding me? That thing is worth like $60,000 and it's like $600, $800. Somebody could check now. I have no doubt it's probably $900 because they are not. And firemen, by the way, well, at least in New York, but it's probably across the United States. It's global. Landmark Forum is global. Landmark Education, if you're looking it up, look up Landmark Education. But I'm pretty sure, at least in New York City, firemen and police officers were able to do it complimentary. So the bang for your buck, you can't beat it. All right. Had a lot to say about self-responsibility today, didn't I? All right. I don't see any other questions in the question box. Hopping over right now back to X to just make sure I'm not missing anything. I hope I am not. Anybody have anything they want me to speak to before I close this up? Just let me know. Thank you all for being here today. It was a big turnout. It's always encouraging. I'm so glad to see familiar, friendly faces. Always wonderful to see our regulars. Special thanks to Christina for volunteering for the coaching today. That was terrific. All right, guys. So yeah. Oh, let me see. Is that a question? Shoot. Okay, perfect. Anthony, thank you. I don't know when that came through, but I see it now, and I'm so grateful to you. All right, so I think what I need to do, I have to get this clear, but because I had to kind of shrink down to fit Christina in before, so I'm trying to get myself back. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Looks so good, Anthony. Thank you. I have this beautiful background, and thanks to Anthony. And as you can see, guys, if you want to learn more about Opal Securities, please send me a DM. You can always send me an email at kim@thewallstreetcoach. I would love to make an introduction to you with them. So that's it, guys. I have to look at my schedule, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to do these on Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays. And I'd love for us to have some people get prepared, ready for next Wednesday, especially because next Wednesday is the day before Thanksgiving. So hopefully we'll have a nice big turnout here. Tina, thank you. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. Man, that thing really, I don't think I've ever had a stomach flu, guys. Like when I looked up the symptoms, I was like, do I have food poisoning? Do I have a stomach flu? Like, I don't know what I had. But when I looked at all the description of stomach flu, like the aches and pains were the worst. Like I literally was in so much pain. My muscles were so sore. I laid on the floor for a few hours because there was too much discomfort in my nice, cozy, yummy bed. I like just needed to be on a floor because like every part of my muscles were so achy. I had a fever. It was crazy. I was like, oh, I couldn't even call. I didn't, you know how you call your friends, somebody drops the phone. I couldn't call anybody. I was so like in an altered state. It was crazy. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much, all of you, for being here. Let me just quickly, as I'm still here, take a quick look to just make sure I'm on track with next week. Yeah, so let's see here. I actually might have to do this a little bit later because I just forgot. Next Wednesday, Sam Pryor hosts a Investors Underground room that I visit at the end of the month. So that happens at 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4:15. And I do already have a client booked. So I think I'm going to be on here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'd probably be about 7, 7:30, 7:15. So next Wednesday, about 7:15, 7:30 Eastern. I will do this right before Thanksgiving. But here's my suggestion, guys. Bring an issue you want coaching on. It makes these things just pop. It's so good to have the ability to coach traders as quick as possible. Look, I do this for an hour. We could do 15 minutes for 4 people, right? 20 minutes for 3 people. Like, come forward, put your camera on, get some speed coaching so that you can up level what you already know needs to be up leveled. Okay. All right. Keep an eye out for Curtain Call. Sign up for that. Also, if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, The Wall Street Coach, please sign up. And if you like my live coaching and you like my podcast, I would love to have a review on iTunes or Spotify. But I know iTunes, I had Odie write me a testimonial right in front of me at the Traders for a Cause conference, which was awesome. But I would love to have a couple more testimonials there because we don't have that many. All right, guys, be well, be kind to your mind, and I will see you next week. And have a good rest of the week, guys, okay? All right, see you guys soon. Aloha for now. Bye.